Hello and welcome to this month's Featured Designer of the Month. So excited to have Meghan Jones with me today as the featured designer. So we'll be talking all about her designing process, behind the scenes, talk about her as a person and all of that as well. I see she's here. Hello, Meghan. Feel free to request to join. There we go. Maybe. There we go. If anyone here is new to me, hello, welcome, excited to have you here. I am Jessica, the knitting pattern designer behind Snickerdoodle Knits, the design coach, hello, design coach and mentor behind the Pattern Design Circle. And I'm so excited to have Meghan here.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes. And we have another guest with us too.
This is Graham.
Hello.
Yeah. He's our littlest guy. He's number 4 and he likes to help and he loves art. So we are here and he is coloring nominally.
So fun. Excited to have you with us, Graham.
You say hi again?
Hi.
Hi.
So Meghan, do you want to give us a quick little introduction to who you are?
Yes, I do. And now I'm on the spot and I don't even remember who I am. My name is Meghan Jones. I have been a knitting designer for a long time. Probably 13 years, maybe. I started when our second was pretty small. And I have 4 kids. I have a wonderful husband, a big property, a huge garden. I have a million things I like to do. And I'm basically an artist who uses knitting as one of my mediums. So I feel like I'm not super traditional in a sense with spreadsheets and a love of numbers. That's sort of not my vibe. Yeah. That's who I am.
Yes, that's so fun. I love it. Where in the world are you located?
We're in Spokane, Washington.
Oh, really? Okay, fun. I guess I don't have a cousin there anymore. She's moved back home, but I had a cousin there for a while.
It's a pretty nice place to live. I'm originally from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. But then ended up here and we're never leaving. We really like it.
Good. Yeah, I thought I heard something that sounded Canadian there. So.
It's still in there. I have a friend who reminds me on a weekly basis. He's like, oh, I heard it. I'm like, I bet you did.
Oh, man. Well, I'm excited to have you here. Something else, that we have somebody with Canadian flags in the comments.
Yay! Sorry.
So something that I think is fun to ask is for 3 words to describe you as a person.
Goofy. Definitely goofy.
I'm silly.
Yeah, you're
Chicken
chicken nuggies. I'd say creative. Goofy, creative, and probably passionate. I have probably too many things that I'm interested in and I can't really settle on one. So I just do them all.
I'm with you, except for when I started designing, I kind of abandoned everything else and I've only been knitting. And especially like the last couple of weeks, I'm like feeling this huge urge to like be creative in other ways and stuff now. So it's really fun to chat with you.
Oh, good. Maybe this is your sign, just to like branch out a little bit.
Yes, yeah, I've already had several sides. I actually just purchased a weaving kit to finally do. They're just circular hoops, but some wall weaving things. So I got a notification today that they've shipped. So that will be my first thing.
Ooh, mail. Oh, I love mail. Oh my God. So much fun.
Yeah. So do you weave?
I do. I don't anymore, but I actually did my Bachelor of Fine Arts Mr. Moving my hand. I did my Bachelor of Fine Arts on a computer operated loom. And I also did Japanese wax resist natural dyes called Bokashi. Those are the two things that I specialized in. And then I graduated and I got married, and my husband was wounded in Iraq, and we had this tiny baby, and I didn't have any time for like big process things anymore. And so I started knitting. So that's sort of where that started, because I couldn't do big, gigantic patience things like weaving, but I do love it.
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, I also want to hear more about your whole background in fiber and textiles, because that is a background that most of us designers don't have.
Right. I've been working with fabric probably as long as I can remember. My mom's a quilter, so I would help her. I was the ironer. She would run it through the machine and snip it, and I would like grab it and fold it open and iron it as fast as possible and then pass it back to her. And
that's the worst part in my opinion.
But I love, because you know what, for me it's all about like the product, and I'm a very efficient person, and if something can't be efficient, it kind of breaks me. So the whole part of like I didn't even have to sew it and the sewing is happening, I sort of ate that up. So lots of that. I did tons of like art as a kid, like painting. In high school I was president of the pottery club, so ceramics in there. I went into a fine art program that was painting, drawing, photography, sculpture. Did 2 years of that, transferred to another for my 4-year, a different school. Was like 3 classes short, I think, of a drawing degree. I almost graduated out of the drawing department. And then I was like, I took a fiber electives class, and that was it. I was like, I'm in the wrong department, dudes. So I switched over, and I did like 2 years in a year and a half. So I took classes at the same time, and my instructors were wonderful. And I would like hit the dye class and get the information and like put my pot of dye on, because it was a natural dyes class, and then I'd run over to the weaving class and get the lecture and like start that, and then I'd like run back to the dye class. So efficiency was in high gear, and it was delightful. And then what else did I do? So yeah, painting, drawing, everything. And then, like I said, didn't have time for those big processes. And so I started knitting because it was super portable and I could just put it down when somebody needed me. So yeah, so that's kind of my background, and then designing. And then recently I've started doing a lot more painting again. So that's sort of, I'm still designing, but I've backed way off and I'm doing more painting. I'm sort of hoping to get towards a show sometime soon.
That is so, so cool. I'm like indulging myself because I just love, but so for me, I always thought I wasn't creative. I did sewing. I knew how to sew some growing up. And I did a little bit of knitting growing up. Family friend had taught me. My mom sews. Anyway, but like from an artistic level, I was like, no, I'm not artistic. I can't do anything. And it's just like more recently that I'm like finally at the point where I'm like, okay, it's okay if it's not perfect. It's like part of the fun of crafts and hobbies is just the fun of it. It doesn't matter what the end product actually looks like.
Yes.
And so it was like photography and graphic design were a couple of the majors that I was really interested in, but too scared to go into because I wasn't creative enough in my head. And so I just love how like your whole background is all like the artsy stuff. That's so fun.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's never too late to start, right? And it's just a matter of going. And the coolest thing I think that I've realized about the art world, being out of it, like being away from art school, because art school is a double-edged sword in many ways, being away from it for however many years, is that there's room for everyone. There's room for everyone. No matter what you do, you will find an audience. You have a place. You just have to believe in yourself and do it. So get started. Try it. It's fine.
Yes. Yes. I don't remember what else I was gonna say, but I'm curious to hear what do you think about the knitting world in comparison to your the other art worlds that you've been a part of?
That's a good question. My real like super duper honest answer is I exist in my own bubble.
That there's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes that's one of the best things, especially as a creative, because once we exist in larger worlds, it's easier to it's easier to compare with everybody else and to feel like we're not as good, or like we should be doing a different kind of style, or you know, all of that kind of different stuff.
Right. I mean, I feel like my design just really comes from a very internal artistic place. Like it was my medium. It still kind of is. And that's really where it came from. And it was things that I was interested in investigating. It's become a lot more commercial for me because I am primarily just working with magazines or the Knitter's Planner, you know, where it's like, Lorinda's like, hey, you know, do you want to put in a design? I'm like, sure. What are you looking for? I like that, like, exchange of ideas. I think there's a sweet spot in there that I'm really attracted to, because it, sometimes I have so many ideas, narrowing it down is really hard. So that's my personal challenge, is it's like, give me this much and I will explode it into 7 miles. So that I like that part of it. But yeah, I just kind of honestly live in my own bubble. I'm terrible at social media. I try super hard to like put stuff out there. But by the time I take the picture and I'm like, I'm going to share this, I'm like, but it's old already. I can't show anybody this. It's already done. Like, and then it's sort of this very fun hamster wheel I live in. But anyway, I make lots of things and I love life. Yay!
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Well, and so I am a business mentor, design coach. I have a design circle for designers and stuff like that. And one of the things that I think is the most important, like I tell other designers, is really what matters is your definition of success. You know, if you're feeling fulfilled in what you do, that's what matters.
Agreed. And I definitely went through years where it felt like, well, I have to publish with that publication to be successful. And then that would happen. I'd be like, well, whoopee dang. It's like when your birthday comes around, you're like, it's any other day. Like, you still got to do stuff. And it was really, I am thankful to certain publications because I do love publishing with them. And then the same kind of thing, like when I published my book, I was like, publish a book. And then it was done and I was like, okay, it's done, whatever. So it is that realization of like, just be creative, just like keep putting it out there. And then you look behind you and you're like, wow, damn, I've done a lot of things. Oh, well, I'm busy. Let's go do something else, you know? I don't know.
Yes, I love that. So how did you kind of told us how you got into knitting. How did you then get into designing?
I got bored. I got bored of trying to find the pattern for what I wanted, and I just started tweaking the patterns that I have to make them into what I wanted. And like I said, I'm not super at math. I'm not the person who's like, I'm just not great at it. I'm just not, and that's okay. And I actually hilariously, so like a lot of designers use Excel spreadsheets. I like, so this is how my patterns happen. I write them down with pencil and that's how I do it. And I have, you know, quadrille paper and but yeah, I was just tweaking patterns that I liked, exchanging charts, moving from there, that kind of thing. That's just how it started.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Yum.
I actually really like wildlife.
Okay, hon. He actually really likes wildlife. Isn't that super?
Cool.
Have another marker.
Fun. Okay, so then I also want to know, how did you get into third-party publishing?
Okay. I sent off a proposal to Interweave Knits. It was my jellyfish bag. It was ages ago. Was it 2000? I don't even know. I don't remember. But it was the very first proposal I ever sent off, and it was accepted. And it was a kind of a magic moment. It was one of those, like, a sign from the universe. You should probably pursue this, because it doesn't happen to anybody a lot. And so that was it. That I just sort of got into that. I was really lucky with the first 2 years of my associate's art degree, my associates of art. The school that I went to was super intense on professional practices. And so things like being able to speak about your work, being able to put together a proposal, being well read, being literate, being on time, deadlines are not suggestions, that kinds of thing. All the things that your traditional sort of flaky artist really has a hard time with. It was just sort of drilled into us. Like, if you're going to make this your business, you better treat it like a business. And so I do credit them a lot for that first proposal, because I didn't know what I was doing, but that proposal was amazing. And they said yes. And then I just was like, well, now I got to figure this out. And I did. So, you know.
Yeah, that's so fun. And then you loved it, posted lots more of it.
It was, yeah, I mean, it's addicting, right? So when you have somebody tell you that your idea is a great idea and they want it, that's addicting. Mm-hmm. And so therefore it was, well, if I got into there, can I do it again? Mm-hmm. Can I do it again? Well, what about this? Well, what about that? And so for me, because it comes from a very personal space, it was like, how much of this can I do? How far can I go? You know? And then I published with them a lot. I mean, I've published with Knit Picks and Interweave and Creative Knitting, who's now defunct. But right now I'm primarily work with Webs and America's Yarn Store, love them. And Vogue Knitting, love them. It's always like, I squee every time they accept my stuff. Like, no joke. I'm like, squee. Okay. And then Plymouth Yarn, who I also adore. And you guys should always check out their stuff because they have beautiful yarns.
Yes. One of the first, maybe the first.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't the first. But one of my very first, like, fancy yarns I bought for myself that wasn't at Michael's. Yeah. Was one of Plymouth's yarns.
Which one was it? Which one?
Well, I got a gray mix and a deep purple. I don't remember what the name, but
they always have such nice color choices. That's the other thing I love about them. Hilariously, this summer, my mom came to visit and she's knitting away, and I look over and she has this yarn that I swear to you is from 35 years ago, and it's Plymouth yarn. It was hilarious. I texted it over to Kaylin at Plymouth, and I was like, check this out. She's like, we don't even have this on the books anymore. I'm like, no, you don't. It was great.
Great. So what made you interested in submitting to Interweave in the first place?
I don't know.
How long
did I think about it? I don't know. I mean, it was just a challenge. It was like, yeah. I'm very much geared to like, well, I could do that. Yeah. And so that's what I did. It's an opportunity. So I'm like, well, why not? Because if you don't take the opportunity, you can't actually succeed at it, right?
Yes.
So that's what it was. It was like, I'll try that out. Why not?
Yes. There are so many people out there in the world in general who feel like they can't do something, and so they never even try. And
right.
Miss out on so much.
It's true. It's true. Try more things and be gentler with yourself.
Yeah, it's okay to fail and try again.
Yes, it absolutely is.
Yes. Do you have your first, you had mentioned your first design for Vogue was one of your favorites.
I don't, because we don't get those back.
You don't get them back.
No, but I pulled out, so yeah, I don't have that one, and I don't have the sample for Knitter's Planner because we don't get those back. Or I do get them back, but I don't get that back yet. I took out a selection of sort of delightful textural fall things, if you wanted to see them.
Sure. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the Paria one, since
sure.
Favorite?
Yeah, I probably could have gotten the magazine out, but you'll just have to imagine it.
Yeah.
Because forethought and planning, whatever. Yeah, it was fun. They wanted unusual construction, and so it was like, oh, how can we do this? Well, what about a triangle shawl and turn it into a sweater? And so that's what it is. It's the back of the garment is a triangle shawl, and then you work up and over the arms. Okay, come in color. And then it becomes a sweater. Well, sit here. You can look at yourself in the screen. See? Say hi. Say hi to all the working mamas out there. Say hi, working mamas. What do your kids do? Do they join you? Hmm? So yeah, that one was a super exciting achievement for me, just because I'm a huge fan of Nora Gone, and she's the editor over there. So like I said, I squee every time, because whenever it's accepted, it's like, oh my God, Nora saw my stuff, you know. And it's just my own personal winning.
Yes. So like, how many years have you worked with them, or like how many designs have you made with them so far?
Let's see. I'm just working on number 5.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
How's your
Can you
coloring
color
going?
me some more? Yeah, how is your coloring going? Do you want to show? Do you want to show it? Not good right now? Okay, we'll do some more and you can show it to us. Right?
Are all of your kids like artsy, creative, enjoy that kind of stuff?
No, they all have their own just sort of distinct personalities. Yeah. Abby's 16. She really likes painting a lot. But she's thinking about maybe going to be a psychiatrist. Nora is 13. She's super into languages and reading and writing. Theo is 8, and he's like our sports buddy who loves comic books. And Graham is 4, and he loves art and unicorns and...
Who said unicorns?
Who said unicorns? I did. Yes.
That's so cool. That's so fun. Since you mentioned the painting, I was wondering, earlier you said you're doing a lot of painting. What kind of painting do you do?
I've been working mostly with acrylic on canvas, and working with, you could probably call it mostly realistic surrealism type images, depicting what I would call interrelational emotions. So that moment when you meet someone and you have an instantaneous connection with them, how could that be illustrated? The moment when you realize you've perhaps given your empathy to the wrong person, who's taking advantage of it, and it was a trap, and you knew it was a trap all along. What does that look like? I love flowers. I paint a lot of flowers. I paint a lot of architecture. And right now I'm working on one that's got a moon on it and some ammonite seashells, and this is degenerating, but we can just keep going.
That is so cool.
Can you get down? Get down, please.
What size of canvases do you usually work with?
So what are those? 18 by 24. I've got a couple on 18 by 24, but yesterday I went to Ross and I totally snagged some 36 by 48 inch canvases for like $20 each. It was amazing. It was my moment, and they like barely fit in my trunk, and I was like, this is meant to be, baby, you know. So coming soon, 3 more. Yeah, 36 by 48 inches. Hey, go look over on that shelf. Go look over on that shelf. I think there's some beads in there that you can play with. Yeah, go check it out. Yeah, go check it out. Tear it apart. Do your worst. This is basically parenting. I mean, you know, just distraction.
Yes. Is he at home with you all the time?
He is. He's starting a preschool program next week, which will be really nice, because then I'm going to get 3 mornings a week to just like, you know, talk in sentences, which will be super.
I'm back.
You're back.
Hey, Mom.
Yes, honey.
Can you get me something else?
Something else?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can go and look over there and take out anything you want. That red tin is filled with beads. Go check it out.
What one?
That one.
Which one?
That one right there. Go. No, I'm not coming over there. You got to check it out. Anything you want. Sorry. I mean, we knew this was a possibility, but.
Yeah, it's fun. And you know, that's what your working life is like.
Pretty much, yeah.
You
Everything
know how
happens
to,
in really small chunks.
know how to work without distraction once he goes to school.
I probably won't be able to, honestly. I actually find that I can't. Yeah, no, I can't work for long stretches of time. You know, like people who are like, I painted for 6 hours. I'm like, are you nuts? Like after an hour, I'm itchy and I gotta go do something else. So I think I like having that many things to do at once, because I can just sort of bop around to all of them and then come back, you know?
I've learned psychologically, or however your brain works. You're
Mm-hmm.
actually, like, we're supposed to not work for more than 60 to 90 minutes in concentration periods.
Perfect. That
And
feels right. That makes total sense because
Yeah.
that's where I'm at too.
I
Yeah.
tend to push through and just do lots all at one time, but then after
Mhm.
I'm exhausted. So,
Right.
yeah. Okay, you can show us some of your designs.
Oh, sure. Well, so I just picked out some that I thought would be nice for fall because where I live, it's cooling off a little. This one's called the Rocky Creek Cowl.
Oh, that's cute. A button.
It's kind of fun because it opens up, right? So you can wear it and then you can open it up. I don't really want to put this on though because it's really hot right now in my studio, but you can open that up. Lots of texture. Ooh, I love this one. This one's a Henton cowl, and it's because I'm a yarn hoarder. And I buy like that single skein of beautiful yarn and then I don't know what to do with it because there's only one skein. So this is a really adjustable pattern and there's optional beads in the bottom and it's just like a really lightweight cowl for, well, like this time of year, you know, when the morning is cold enough that you need something, but then later on it's hot.
Yeah. I think instead of yarn hoarder, you could just call yourself a fiber artist and it works.
It's true. I just feel like there's an emotional piece to it. Once it flips over into the, I can't use that, it's too precious. I'm like, whoa, baby, whoa. Like there's materials and then there's like things you think are babies, but they're really materials, right? Okay. So, and then this is the Grand Boulevard wrap. I was just really liked this one. It's asymmetry, simple texture, little lace and cables on there. I don't know. That's sort of something I particularly enjoy in the fall. And then this one, this was published with Interweave originally. This is a Genesee mountain poncho. And I really like this one because I really manipulated the cable pattern. Like I took, can you see what I'm doing? Yes. I took this cable pattern, but then I put sort of two together because I wanted it to look like trees and like knots in the forest and stuff. So yeah, those are the four I took out. I mean, there's oodles. If you're a designer, you know all about the oodles of samples you end up owning, and then you don't want to use because you're like, what if I wreck it?
Yes,
so,
and then
yes.
I started. Well, I started designing not long after I really started seriously knitting, and so all of my knits are design knits, but I don't want to wear them very much. But I don't have knits for myself.
You're like, so I'm cold. Aww.
Yes. I'm actually like wanting to make more cardigans and pullovers and that kind of stuff because that's the kind of stuff I actually wear. And you know, I have to like use store-bought stuff instead because I don't have anything knit.
Right.
Because mostly what I've designed has been accessories. And it's like, okay, it's cute when you want to look cute, but usually I'm super simple. I don't accessorize and stuff.
Right.
Especially, you know, I'm just home all the time.
Right.
No point.
Yeah, I understand for sure. I tend to wear a lot of my shawls and stuff upstairs, which sounds crazy, but we have it's an attic. My studio is an attic that was turned into, you know, whatever, upstairs. Sorry, my daughter just texted me. It totally threw me off my game. An attic that was turned into an upstairs, but there's not enough insulation. And so it is it's like cold. It's insanely cold in the winter. And it's like the fires of Mordor in the summer. It's so crazy up here. But, you know, so it's perfect for knitting in the winter. You can bundle up a million things and feel great. You know.
Then you go downstairs and realize it's not winter.
Totally. Yeah.
That's
no,
fun.
I hear ya.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things about designing or like learning just how designing works is the fact that it is all based on math, right? Because we all start out and we're like, we don't want to gauge swatch. Well, you know, it's kind of important because then you can use that gauge swatch to tell how a pattern's going to fit you. So like, I think a lot of knitters think about it as this restriction, this thing. It's like, I don't want to do that. I just want to start knitting. And it's like, but you can really use the numbers that you find in your knitting to calculate what that size exactly will be on you, right? So every sweater is going to fit really well. And that was my like aha moment with gauge and design and knitting, and being like, everything's going to fit me perfectly now because I know what size it's going to be. And it sounds so lame, but it was a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal. It's I learned, especially that I'm a very loose knitter, and so gauge is really, really, really important because, you know, if I pick up somebody else's pattern, I'm not gonna get gauge with the needles, they say.
Yeah, I hear ya. I
still don't like watching for other people's designs. So.
Right. I had my best friend for a while was doing some sample knitting for me, and she's a way tighter knitter than I am. And so, yeah, we totally ran into that with like, you know, Kate, knit this sample, but you have to go up like 2 needle sizes. Are you sure? Yeah, definitely. Try it on 2, and you know, make sure to swatch it. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah. The amazing thing though about being the designer is that you get to do the swatch first, base your math off of the swatch, and just continue instead of making things match somebody else's game.
Yeah, there's freedom there. Yes, I 100%, and I adore that part. So, oh, we have a cat on the premises now, so we'll see how that goes. A cat and a preschooler. Hey, kitty. Hello. Want to come up and say hi to everybody? Say hello.
There.
This is Bean.
Hi, Bean.
Oh, all right. Get down. Don't cause trouble.
Oh, I was going to ask, so what does your design process look like, and has it changed a lot over the past 13 years of designing?
Yeah, I'd say so. I definitely, when I first started, it was a lot of trial and error. It was a lot of knitting, ripping. That's not very efficient. And so it turned very much into writing the pattern ahead of time. And then now, in addition to writing the pattern ahead of time, in my like shorthand on my paper, I type it out completely in the format, all the way shebang, so that it's ready to go. So then all I have to do is print it out and make a few corrections as I'm knitting if I've like screwed something up or whatever. I am super spatial, visual oriented person, and I can just knit the whole thing in my head. Like, I know how it's going to go together. I can start from the beginning. I can interchange pieces. I'm terrible at math, but my superpower is I can knit it in my head, and so I can win that way. And so that's very much now. So, you know, knit the swatch, get the math, write the pattern, type the pattern up. The very last step for me is knitting the sample.
I do the same. And another reason I love it is because I'm actually just knitting a pattern at that point then. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I designed it, but it's the same level of effort required.
Yes. Yeah, great. Hey, Graham, could you stop that, please? It's percussion time, apparently.
It's an important part of the day.
Absolutely. Actually, my dad's a percussionist. That's the funniest thing. My dad's a professional percussionist, so he comes by it honestly, but not the time, son. No. Uh-oh, we're in trouble now.
Oh, man. So how do you like divide normally with all of your crafts? Do you have a certain time for your designing time, or how does your schedule look?
Did you hear that? Did you hear all those beads hit my floor? Oh, baby. Well, I know what my time is going to be after this video. I'll tell you that right now, for real. And I know that my daughter, Nora, is watching this video right now because the Instagram tells me so. Hey, Nora, I got a job for you after school, baby. How do I divide my time? I really enjoy, I try to do my more technical stuff first thing in the morning because I'm a little fresher. Then my husband is medically retired, military, but so he's home. So he'll sort of hang out with Mr. Mr. Dude over there for an hour and a half or so, and I'll get that really technical stuff done in the morning. And then maybe I'll paint for an hour. If it's springtime, I'll go out and garden. I love gardening. I usually knit after dinner. So like afternoon is normally like chores and errands and bus and cooking food and whatever. After dinner, I will do my yoga and my weightlifting. And then after that, I will knit before bed. So that's sort of my magical life. And in there's 4 children and 3 cats and 2 dogs and 6 chickens and
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, so like part of my whole, all right, I want to be more creative, artistic outside of designing stuff is I've created a time block towards
nice
working day. This is creative time.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so one more question about knitting. Designing stuff. How do you prefer self-published now versus third-party published?
I have no idea. I don't know. I haven't counted. I do know that I haven't put out a self-published pattern that wasn't a re-release from a magazine in a number of years. Probably 4 years, maybe 5. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't. My business plan is not geared enough towards, like I said, the social media, the taking photos, the building the hype, the blah, blah, blah. I'm terrible at it. It's super inauthentic to me because I just have to force myself to do it. And then I feel like people can feel that I'm forcing myself to do it. And so the best choice for me is just the third-party publishing. And then I get that feedback of like, oh, you have that idea? What do you think about my idea? And then they're like, we love your idea. I'm like, oh my God, you love my idea. Okay, I'm gonna make my idea really, really good for you. You know, and then it's done in like that emotional, I don't want to say transaction, but like interaction is what I thrive on. And I don't really get that from social media because I just find it stressful. I just do. Anytime I post something that gets really popular, it makes me anxious. And I'm like, this is not my happy place. So third party it is for Meghan. That's what we do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the Knitter's Planner is the only third-party publisher so far.
Okay.
And
Stop it.
before, I was super hesitant about it. Like, I didn't think I'd actually enjoy it because to me, it was like working with a big company and it's like, there's going to be no interaction. It's just like, I make this thing, hand it over, and it's
no.
But I, of course, realized it's totally different. It is a lot of fun back and forth.
Right.
It's in the design phase when you get the back and forth too. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Well, and you lucked out with a deeply, deeply authentic, personal, wonderful owner named Lorinda Davis, who's fantastic. You got really lucky with your first one because there are some companies that are way less personal, but like she's one of the winners. She's a keeper. Keeper, always apply. Yeah, we love her.
Yes. And I guess we haven't said explicitly, but we're both in the 2023 Knitter's Planner. So if you purchase the Knitter's Planner, you will see a pattern from each of us in it.
It's true. The planners are beautiful too. I mean, they have so much space in them. They have spots for design ideas and keeping track of your projects. If you're one of those, keep tracker kind of people, they have lots of space. If you like to maybe draw in your planner a little more than you plan things in it, like some of us, there's lots of space for that too.
Do you have an older version?
I do, yeah.
There?
I have it. I'd have to go get it. Do you want me to go get it? I can put Graham on the thing. Hey, Graham, you want to talk to her for a second?
I want to.
Okay, you want to. You talk to her. I'll go get it.
Hey, Graham.
Ooh, good evening, Jojo.
You having fun? Yeah? What are you up to today?
I love you.
All right, baby. Hop out of Mama's chair.
So you have to go.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
I'm sure you will. So this is the older cover. They don't have this cover anymore, but it's just beautiful. You know, it's got, that was my design from last year. And, you know, beautiful month marker divider things. And the patterns are in the back here. So that's the Pinwheel Cardigan from last year. That one was mine. What else we got in here? Projects. Oh, Karina, her beautiful hat. Karina's one of my favorite people. Karina Ferguson. If you don't know her, Craft Star Studios. She's fantastic. Jen Lucas did a beautiful shawl here as well. And then I think I missed Angela's. Let's see. These are all my TNNA peeps. Angela did a beautiful cowl in there. And all these patterns have been returned to us, so you can find them on Ravelry. I'm sure you can. Cadence Lollipop Cowl, Orsina hat, and Quiet Waves shawl. And then mine was the Pinwheel Cardigan. So yeah, it's just a really fun, it's a really fun project to be a part of. And oh, look at this. So projects at a glance. So if you like to keep track of your projects in the back with this kind of, obviously some of us not super into that, but that's okay. I have these nice blank pages I can draw in if I want to. There's, oh yeah, here's another one. Project planner. You can put in pictures in here. It's got all this info. It's got graph paper. I'll totally use this graph paper for sure. Not really a joiner. I try really hard, but anyway, I started doing my own thing. Like I said, I'm in my little bubble. It's where I like to live.
Yes, that's so fun. Yeah, I think the 2020 is available now.
Yes, it is. And there's new covers, and they're so nice. There's one with flowers on it, and there's an orange one, like a beautiful, if you're a pumpkin spice kind of fan, there's that color. And there's one other one that was really nice too. Oh yeah, little yarn balls.
Yes. So which?
Yeah, super colorful. And then sort of the more standard ones. There's like a gold one that's knitting and a blue one that's knitting. What you can't see is he just threw a mannequin foot down the stairs. So that happened. Oh, here's the other one. Dun, 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 dun. Here, go knock yourself out. Never a dull moment over here. There's the other one.
Which cover did you choose for this year's planner?
The flowers.
Yeah.
I chose the flowers. It was. What about you?
I did the stripes, but I had a terrible time choosing.
It was hard. I chose the stripes for. I got the design book last year, and I had the stripes on it. It's really nice. They're super classy. Graham, no more throwing stuff down the stairs, please. I saw. Please stop. He's my wild child. I don't know. Fourth kids are like something else.
Yeah. So, house knitting design you talk about? Otherwise, I'm going to go to gardening chat.
I don't know. I'm feeling a little distracted. I think you should try knitting design if you want to. If you're into it, if you're interested, give it a try. Don't assume that you know anything and do lots of research. Read patterns like books, and look up, Kate Atherley has a really good book on how to write knitting designs. That'd be a good one. So now he's got the mannequin feet on his hands. So anyway, yep.
Okay, so we talked about like your crafty hobbies. You also do a lot of other stuff. Briefly mentioned. It sounds like part of your life.
Pardon me?
Sounds like
yeah. Oh, you're cutting out.
Oh.
Let me read your lips. Do I can.
You're gardening?
Oh, my gardening. Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really love I'm a little bit of a geek. Like, I don't want to unload on you, but I'm definitely into like at least 2 different kinds of composting, and I know lots about soil structure and no-till gardening and worms, and grow lots and lots of food. And I have a cabbage and bean tattoo on my arm because I love them so much. We have chickens, and yeah, so I think if we would all be a little healthier if we were maybe a little closer to our own food sources. And you can taste sunshine in food, and so I think it's super important to do that.
Yes, and you really love cooking. You grow.
Yes, exactly. No, stop that. Okay, we might have to call this off. This is beyond. This is beyond what it normally is. But we could do it again sometime if you want without him.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining. Do you want to share where folks can find you online?
Oh yeah, LittleNutMegProductions.com. That's my website. I'm on Instagram, Meghan Jones at LNMP. I'm on Facebook, Little Nutmeg Productions, knitwear and design by Meghan Jones. I'm on Ravelry as Anything But Snow. And it's been a long time since I had to list those off and not just like drag and drop them. And it was really hard to do, actually.
Well, so fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for putting up with us.
Talk to you and Graham later.
Bye-bye.